Well, on Sunday, Rangers had their Brittany moment, didn't they? Oops, they did it again, and they played with our hearts, and they nearly lost the game again. But what we'll be demanding on Thursday night is they go, baby, one more time, and make sure that they obviously are crazy for the Europa League, and keep on that run going. Sorry, really bad cheesy lyrics there. Are they all Britney lyrics? Yeah. Britney Spears and a Rangers FC podcast. Whatever next, guys. Whatever next. I'm sure we can come up with 1,001 different song lyrics to suit Rangers and to suit the way we've been playing this season and last season. But you know what? Focus obviously turns today to the game tonight at Ibrox. I'm sure Ibrox will be rocking. I'm sure that Ibrox will be a cauldron of noise, a cauldron of atmosphere, a cauldron of fear for the Cypriots as we take them on in that Europa League game tonight. Again, well, you know what? With a victory and the right result over in between Betis and Prague, it could obviously end up with Rangers qualifying for the knockout stages and making sure we have Europa League football after Christmas. I mean, you look at the table as it stands at this moment in time. Betis sit top on 9 points. Obviously, the only defeat coming against Rangers at Ibrox. Rangers with 2 wins, 1 draw, and a defeat. Our draw going away in Prague, and our defeat, rather embarrassingly, been to Aris Limassol, who sit bottom. I think the thing that is clear looking at this table is that Aris, if they want any opportunity to even stand a chance of qualifying, which theoretically they still have an outside sneaky chance with 2 victories, they need to make sure that they come at us tomorrow. They need to come and play us. And, you know, they are a team that attack. They are a team that, as Philippe Clement said in his news conference today, have a chaotic approach to attacking, reliant on individual skill rather than on collective effort, which, in his words, makes them unpredictable. But I think that will help us. I think, you know, Rangers, obviously, the struggles come against that low block, don't they? The struggles come when people sit in against us. But I don't think Aris will. I think they've got to come out and play. They've got to come out and have a go. They've got to come out and attack. Now, if that's the case, it's going to leave gaps. It's going to leave space. And that's going to leave an opportunity for our attackers to come in and get in behind the opposition. And I'm going to talk about that when I talk about my team that I've named for tonight. And I know I'm not Philippe Clement. I've got too much hair. And also the fact that I'm not Belgian. And also the fact that I'm obviously not anywhere as good as him. But look, we all do it, don't we? As fans, we sit here and we all name our teams. We all talk about who is going to play. We all talk about how we'd like to see teams line up. That's what we do. It's a game of opinions, guys. We all have different opinions. Some of you hate my opinion. Some of you love my opinion. Some of you think my opinions are a bit crazy. Some of you think, well, you know what, fair play. Anyway, going to start off though. You know, one thing, please obviously hit the sub. Obviously help the channel to keep on growing, guys. We're sitting on over 3,800 subs, which is phenomenal. We do want to get to 4K by the end of the year. And I just want to move a massive, huge thank you to you all, guys. You do not know what your support actually means to me. You know, it means the world. It means absolutely everything to know that you guys are out there. You watch the content, you comment on the content, you like. I love your comments. I love reading them. I love the likes. You know, and this today, got this through on email today. Channel's now moved to 950,000 views, just 50,000 off 1 million views, which, you know, when I sit and I actually look at this and I actually think about this, and the fact that, you know, 950,000 views have been on my content that I've produced, that I've worked hard on, and, you know, bring to you virtually every single day. And, you know, there's live streams, the podcasts as well, the guests I've had as well. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I honestly mean it with massive sincerity. The support you give me, it keeps me going some days. It really genuinely does. So thank you so much for your support. This channel would be nothing without you. As I've always said, this is about building a fan community, a fan village of Rangers fans together. It's a channel run by a fan for you, the fans. And that's what I've always aimed to do. And look, some people have, you know, questioned my support for Rangers and whatever. Get a life, man. You don't know. You don't understand. You really don't understand the passion I have for our club. Well, you know, tonight it is going to be a game that is, well, we've been left in a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to think of a word that's not going to be insulting or rude, but we've been left in a bit of a well, what's that saying again? Up shit creek without a paddle? I think that's pretty much where we've been left defensively by our former manager, Mr. Michael Beale, Mr. Cockney used car salesman himself. You know, Del boy was cool. Beale wasn't. So that's a bit of an insult, David Jason, that is. But, you know, he's definitely a fool. Definitely not on horse. But look, at the end of the day, he's left us in a position where we are woefully short in the defensive area. Now, unfortunately, Connor Goldson, well, some of you may say fortunately, Connor Goldson is suspended for tonight's game after picking up that yellow card in the last game against Sparta Prague. Added to that as well, that Michael Beale in his infinite wisdom decided not to include Leon Balogun or Ridvan Yilmaz in the European squad. And there's two words that don't often go well in a sentence together. Michael Beale and... That's three words, isn't it? Michael Beale and wisdom. Words that don't go well together. Don't sit well together. I don't think Michael Beale has ever been wise. But it's left us in a position where we are severely limited at the back. And what is really, really frustrating is then you look at the players that he's named in the forward areas and you kind of just look at that and go, what the actual... Because he's named loads of players in the forward areas where for 3 or 4 positions, yet for 4 positions at the back, named hardly anyone. Left out Leon Balogun, left out Ridvan Yilmaz. It just makes absolutely zero sense. Now, I know that we can call on the younger players like Adam Devine and Leon King, but they've had no action this season. They've had no first team action. They're not up to speed. They're not ready to go. And you need in a European tie at Ibrox, a tie that matters, a tie that we need to win, that you need a team where players have got first team experience, that they are up to match fitness, they are up to speed. And we have a crisis at the back. We have a centre back crisis because our starting pair from the league, Balogun and Goldson, whatever you think of them, are not available. So that turns then to Ben Davies and John Souttar. Now, John Souttar is a very fine defender, and in my opinion, and some of you may disagree with this, is the best central defender at the club when he's played on the right-hand side. When he's played on the left-hand side, he struggles. Why? Because he's not a left-sided centre-back. The same way that, let me actually think of a good example here. That a right back would not necessarily fit in well on the left side. I was going to say Tav on the left, but then some of you would say Tav's not good at defending on the right, but there we go. Or if you put Danilo in goal, for example, or you put Tom Lawrence at centre-back, I don't think they would do very well because it's not, it's not a natural place for them to play. Souttar is not a left-sided centre-back. He is a right-sided centre-back, and he tried very hard and he's done okay there, but, at times he's made fundamental errors because of the fact that he's not very left-footed. And it's cost us. So, look, it is a situation tonight where we're probably going to have to go in with John Souttar and Ben Davies. Now, Ben Davies, there's another person who causes a great deal of chagrin and controversy amongst Rangers fans. Some Rangers fans rate him. Some Rangers fans, like his passing out from the back and his vision. Others think he's absolutely useless and about as much use as a fart in a duvet. So, look, let's look at it this way. That is what we've got tonight. That's what we go with tonight. And that's how we line up tonight. Now, the concern over Souttar is the fact that he hasn't played a lot of first-team football recently. Why? Because, like John Souttar has been recently and in the past, he's been injured a lot. And that's obviously a massive concern over John Souttar. Souttar is a fantastic defender, but his injuries and his injury history have held him back. But it is an opportunity for him tonight, for him and Ben to come in and really try and impress and really try and show Philippe Clement how good they actually are and that they have a future at this club. And I would argue, given the dreadfulness of the pairing we had on Sunday, when Sokola could have really done better when he ran off them and ran through, and then they failed to heed that warning and let Miovski just run off them and through the same way that they'd let that Connor Goldson let Kyogo do to him in the Old Firm game. To show Philippe Clement and John Souttar that you are the best bet at that right side centre back position, that you are better than Connor Goldson, that you are safer, securer, and more solid at the back. Excuse me. For me tonight in that game against Aris Limassol, John Souttar has an opportunity tonight to really impress and to really show that he is the future of Rangers centre-backs. And I'm really hoping that Davies and Souttar can step it up tonight. Now, obviously, they'll be flanked by Borna Barisic on the left. And again, you know what I think of Borna Barisic, and I've read a shed load of criticism. I was listening to Club at 22 this morning. Club at 22 is a fabulous podcast. If you don't listen to it, guys, listen to it. Those boys are legends. Again, they were criticising Borna Barisic. I've heard the Rabble criticise Borna Barisic. I've heard everybody and his mother and his mother's sister and his mother's dog sister's Budgerigar criticise Borna Barisic. He is a poor defender. He has been appalling these last couple of seasons. And unfortunately, Ridvan Yilmaz, who some of you do rate, some of you don't rate, isn't available for tonight's game. Why? Because Michael Beale, in here's this word again, infinite wisdom, decided that he wasn't fit enough or good enough to play in the European squad. Go figure. So it does look like, obviously, it will be James Tavernier, it'll be John Souttar, Ben Davies, and the left back will be Borna Barisic. And then the backup for them guys is going to be obviously have to be Adam Devine and Leon King, who got no first team experience this year between them. Yes, they've had it in the past. Yes, King has played in the Champions League and all that, and he's got all that experience to run, but he still hasn't played this season in the first team. Yes, he may have played B team or whatever, but he hasn't actually played in our first team yet this season, so he's not up to speed as far as that's concerned. That could be down to Clement not using him. That could be down largely to Michael Beale's ridiculous European selection. That is just how we are at the moment. But look, that defence realistically should be good enough to cope with Aris Limassol. Yes, I know they've got some talented players. Yes, I know they can attack with speed. Yes, I know they've got some individual ability. But that back four, which will be shielded tonight probably by, I would say, John Lundstrom and I would say Jose Cifuentes, given the fact that that is all we've got in midfield, because Dowell doesn't seem to figure at all, and apparently Ryan Jack is still not fit. Kel surprise. So it looks like that is the situation as it presents itself. There is a lot of injuries again cropping up at this moment in time, meaning players are missing, not just through injury, but through suspension and through unselection. So Clement has all that to contend with going into tonight's game. So I thought about that. I looked at it, reflected on it, pulled my team together, and here is my team for tonight's game. So this is how I would line up if I was picking the team. And like I always say, guys, you may sit there and you may go, fuck, he's not picking the team. But this is what I decided to go with. Jack Butland in goal, absolute no-brainer. The guy is different class. He is the best in the business, best in Scotland, and probably one of the best in Britain at this moment in time. Your back four, well, look, the back four, I think, like I said, pretty much picks itself at this moment in time in Europe, because of the fact that we have players that are not allowed to play because they're not in the squad. And of course, we have players who are out as well. So you've got there Tav, Souttar, Davis, and unfortunately Borna Barisic. Although, I would actually like to see Dujon Sterling given a run out, but he does another one who seems to be very much out of favour at this moment in time. Not even named on the bench on Sunday, for example. Then the midfield too, like I said, pretty much picks itself at this moment in time. John Lundstrom and Jose Cifuentes. And again, I want to see John Lundstrom have one of his European nights. I don't want to see John Lundstrom where we saw on Sunday, where he gave the ball away lots, where he slowed the game down, and he just looked absolutely poor again. I want to see the John Lundstrom, of that Europa League run. I want to see the John Lundstrom of the, of the game against Prague. I want to see a quality John Lundstrom performance tonight, where he bosses it, he dominates, he helps to shield that back four, and really does lead the way for us tonight. Jose Cifuentes, hopefully with another game under his belt, steps up a little bit more, plays with a little bit more authority tonight. I thought he was a bit human crab-like. I thought he wasn't great on Sunday, although some of you seem to think that he was fantastic on Sunday. I personally don't get it, don't understand it. There we go. Then I've gone with that three. Now, the three, again, maybe a bit controversial. No Todd Cantwell. That's right. I don't think Todd's playing too great at the moment. I think he can have more impact coming off the bench. It'll be a test of his character to see if he's going to be a sulky boy or not. Tom Lawrence, for me, has just been the better player at the moment. And I know Tom's played a lot of football recently, which could be a concern for some. But he's got an eye for a pass. He's got a shot on him. He tracks back. He goes forward. I think he's a better all-round 10. And I think he's someone tonight who could really play a key role, dropping back into a 3 when we're defending. And also, helping to blunt those counter-attacks and those counter-presses that Aris Limassol like. I think McCausland, after signing his new deal, has to start on Seamer as well. Give us width. Now, I know Seamer hasn't had the best of games the last couple of games, but I think tonight there'll be space for him to exploit. I think his shooting and his heading are key in tonight's game. And I think McCausland is an exciting talent that can really, press their fullbacks back. And their fullbacks like to bomb on, but if McCausland's out there wide, he'll be a real threat, and definitely give them their fullback something to always look over his shoulder and worry about if he gets pulled too far forward. In terms of strikers, well, it's got to be Danilo, hasn't it? What else have we got? Kamaru looks like he's not fit. What a surprise. Tyrrell Dessers looks like he's not a footballer. And Sam Lammers looks like he's just, I don't know what Sam Lammers looks like. He looks like something, but I'm not quite sure what. After that miss on Sunday, where, Jesus Christ. That, you think about that. Cholak scores. Alfie scores. But my mum probably scores, in that area. And I think it was, for me, it was exceptionally telling on Sunday, wasn't it? We were 1-0 down. We were chasing a game. He looks along his bench and he still doesn't bring Tyrrell Dessers on. Why? I think there's a real sense that, to be honest, if he doesn't fancy him, he doesn't rate him, he doesn't trust him. And I think that we could see Searle has been moved on at the end of the season. I really do think that Philippe Clement has come to a point where he doesn't actually get what he contributes to this team. And Ross McCausland, like I said, just signed his new deal. And as Philippe Clement, talked about at the press conference about him, and he was in pretty glowing about Ross, wasn't he? That he works hard, he wants to become better. It's an important signal that a player who's very popular in the market wants to stay here and be a Rangers player. And that's fantastic that he's committed his future to the club. And Philippe Clement talked about the fact that he will have a bright future at the club. And I'm sure he will have a bright future at the club. He is a good player. The one thing that I got, I love this about Philippe Clement from his press conference, was the fact that, again, today, every game is important. It doesn't matter if it's Europa League, Scottish Cup against Dumbarton. It doesn't care whether it's League Cup against Aberdeen or whether it's the Scottish Premier League against St Johnstone. Every single game matters. Every single game is there to win, and every single game has to be taken equally seriously. And that, for me, is the perfect attitude, because I think, and I agree with what CJ Novo said in his video earlier, there are certain players of this club who will raise their game 10 to 15% for a European game, but will go into hiding in domestic football. And it's good that Clement has this attitude that is not the way that is acceptable, that it is a case that it has to be that every single game matters and every single game is treated equally importantly, whether it's Scottish League, Scottish Cup, League Cup or Europa League. Every game matters. We are Rangers. We want to win every single game. And that was the message that came through loud and clear from Mr. Philippe Clement, or Monsieur Philippe Clement, today at his press conference. Again, obviously, we know that Raskin is out tonight. We know Jack is out. We know that Scott Wright is also out. I mean, he seems to have developed a muscle injury as well, which is just a legendary. Again, we've got another injury. So hopefully that's something that Philippe Clement is continuing to work on and sort out. Tonight is going to be a game where, you know what, I want to see a different style. I want to see Rangers go from the start. I want to see a performance for 90 minutes, not for 75 minutes, not for 45 minutes, not for the last 20 minutes. No, from minute 1 until minute 90 or 95 or 105 or however many minutes extra added on. We know what officials are like it all over, that they go for it from minute 1. You know what? I heard a brilliant piece of oratory earlier from one of the channels. I think it was Club at 22. I think it was, and they were talking about the fact that on Sunday that Philippe Clement should have had those players on leashes, not leeches, that's something completely different, on leashes, that they should have been foaming at the mouth, pulling and dragging to get out there and get to Aberdeen and slaughter them on the pitch. Didn't happen. Not for the first 15 minutes anyway. So tonight, we need to see that. We need to see the leashes. We need to see the muzzles being yanked off and those players coming out snarling, barking, growling like cane corsos on acid and really going for it. And, absolutely ripping Aris Limassol limb from limb tonight. That's what we want to see for 90 minutes, not for 15, not for 45, not for just the second half, but from the first minute until the very final whistle. And them going and running their hearts up and running themselves into the ground for this badge tonight. That's what we need. That's what we've got to see tonight, guys. You know what? We can qualify and get through to have more Rangers Thursday nights after Christmas. Knockout football at Ibrox, European knockout football. It's fantastic. The atmosphere, the stakes, everything unbelievable. And we want it back after Christmas. And that positivity, that mood, that lift can give us even more to chase down that grimy lot from across our city. Our city is our city, isn't it? Not theirs. Right, guys, let me know in the comments below. What are your predictions for tonight? What's your team for tonight? Let me know in the comments below. I am going to go 4-1 to Rangers. 4-1. I'm going confident, guys. 4-1. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet because we never do. But 4-1 tonight. Danilo double. Lawrence gets 1. And I think that we also see a goal from super sub Rabbi Matondo. That's another thing. I want to see Rabbi Matondo come off the bench when they're tiring, when they're still trying to come forward at us, and get in behind them with his lightning speed. That's a good option. 4-1. That's what I'm going for, guys. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much again for watching the video, guys. We are going to look brilliant tonight. I'm confident. You've got to, or I should go mad. So anyway, guys, on the way out, as always, 2 things for me, please. Number 1, smash that like. And number 2, please always remember, we are the people.